The door handle wouldn't turn. My key, the one Dad had given me on my 18th birthday, scratched and familiar with its faded blue keychain, slid into the lock but jammed like a betrayal. I twisted harder, my knuckles whitening, heart pounding in the humid summer evening. That's when I heard it. The low rumble of laughter from inside, my stepfather's voice booming through the wooden door like a thunderclap. "This is my house now, kid. Your daddy's gone, and so are his stupid rules." The words hit me like a gut punch, raw and visceral, stealing the air from my lungs. I pressed my ear to the door, the paint flaking under my palm, and caught the clink of beer bottles. His friends, no doubt, sprawled in Dad's old living room, feet up on the coffee table I'd helped varnish as a child. Fury boiled up, hot and choking, but beneath it, a deeper ache. Humiliation, the kind that seeps into your bones and whispers you're nothing. This was my house. Dad's will had said so. And now Victor, that smug, opportunistic leech, had changed the locks. I stumbled back onto the porch, the wooden steps creaking under my weight like they were mocking me. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the overgrown lawn, the one Dad used to mow every Saturday with that ancient push mower. The air smelled of cut grass and distant rain, but all I could taste was bile. How dare he? Dad had died 6 months ago, his lungs ravaged by years in the factory, and Victor had swooped in like a vulture, marrying Mom in a rushed courthouse ceremony barely a month after the funeral. "For stability," Mom had said, her eyes red-rimmed but hopeful. Stability? What a joke. Victor had always eyed this house, the cozy 2-story Victorian on the edge of town, with its wraparound porch and the attic full of Dad's old tools. It wasn't much, but it was mine. The will was clear. The house to me, his only child, Emily. Mom got the savings, what little there was. But Victor, he got nothing. And that burned him. I fumbled for my phone, fingers trembling as I dialed Mom. She picked up on the third ring, her voice thin and weary. "Emily. Honey, what's wrong?" "He's locked me out, Mom. Victor changed the locks on my house." The words tumbled out, laced with the anger I'd been swallowing for months. A pause, then a sigh that carried the weight of her exhaustion. He said he was just securing things. There've been break-ins in the neighborhood. He's trying to help. Help. By treating it like his kingdom. This is Dad's house, my house. My voice cracked, the humiliation twisting into heartbreak. I paced the porch, the boards groaning, each step echoing my rising pulse. Inside, Victor's laughter swelled again, punctuated by the thud of something heavy. Furniture being moved. My mind raced. Was he rearranging Dad's den? Tossing out the leather armchair where Dad read me stories. "Victor means well," Mom said softly, but there was a hitch in her voice, a hesitation that fueled my resentment. She knew. She'd always known he was a bully, hiding behind charm and broad shoulders. But after Dad's death, she'd clung to him like a lifeline, ignoring the red flags, the way he'd critique Dad's lazy maintenance, or suggest selling the place for something modern. Obsession flickered in me then, a dark seed. I wanted him gone, erased from this space that still smelled like Dad's aftershave. "I'll talk to him," she promised, but her tone was defeated. We hung up, and I sank onto the porch swing, the chains squeaking in the breeze. The streetlights flickered on, bathing the yard in an orange glow. Cars hummed by, oblivious. Inside my head, thoughts swirled like storm clouds. Denial first. Maybe it's a mistake, a prank. Then fantasies, vivid and violent, bursting in, confronting him, watching his face crumple. But doubt crept in. What if Mom needed him? What if I was overreacting? Well, this was betrayal, pure and simple. He'd married her for this, for the security of bricks and mortar that weren't his. That night, I crashed at my best friend Sarah's apartment, the couch lumpy and unfamiliar. Sleep evaded me, instead I replayed memories. Dad's calloused hands teaching me to fix a leaky faucet. Victor's smirk when he first moved in, boxes piled high, claiming the garage for his projects. Resentment festered, turning to obsession. By dawn, cold resolve settled in. I wouldn't let him steal this. But revenge. It whispered, seductive. Not yet. First understand. Plan. The next morning I drove back, the engines hum a steady rhythm against my nerves. The house loomed, windows like watchful eyes. Victor's truck was gone. Work, probably, at the auto shop where he barked orders at underpaid mechanics. Mom answered the door, her face pale, lines etched deeper than I remembered. She pulled me into a hug, her floral perfume cloying. I'm sorry, Em. He got carried away. Carried away. I stepped inside, the familiar creak of the floorboards grounding me. But something was off. The living room rug was rolled up, Dad's bookshelves half empty. What's he doing? She fidgeted, twisting her wedding ring. The new one, cheap gold replacing Dad's silver band. He's updating. Says the place needs freshening up. For us. Us. This is my house, Mom. The will. I know, honey. Her eyes darted away. But Victor thinks. Well, he says since we're family now it should be shared. He's talking to a lawyer about co-ownership. The words landed like a slap. Heartbreak surged, mingled with fury. A lawyer. He's trying to take it. Not take, she whispered, but her voice trembled. Share. For stability. I stormed upstairs to my old room, slamming the door. The bed was made, but Victor's jacket hung on the chair. Intrusive like him. I sank onto the mattress, the springs protesting, and let the emotions crash. Anger at Victor's audacity, humiliation at being locked out like a stranger, resentment toward Mom for her weakness. Guilt too, for not fighting sooner, for letting grief blind me. Inner thoughts warred, confront him. Legally. Or something darker. Fantasies bloomed. Slashing his tires, spreading rumors at his job. But doubt nagged. Am I becoming the monster? Downstairs the front door banged open. Victor's heavy footsteps thudded. Each one a drumbeat of tension. That you, Em? His voice boomed, laced with false cheer. I descended slowly, every step deliberate, building suspense in my own mind. He stood in the kitchen, cracking a beer, his broad frame filling the space. Sweat stained his shirt, grease under his nails. Heard you had a little lockout last night. He chuckled, but his eyes were hard, calculating. Yeah, I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. Funny joke. Not a joke, kid. He leaned against the counter, the granite cool under his elbows. Dad had installed that himself. This place is falling apart. I'm fixing it up. My rules now. Your rules. Rage simmered, but I kept it leashed, a slow burn. Dad left it to me. He shrugged, sipping his beer with a slurp that grated. Wills can be contested. Your mom agrees we need to modernize. Sell off some land, maybe add a garage extension. Mom hovered in the doorway, silent. Betrayal twisted deeper. You can't just. I can and I will. His tone sharpened, revealing the manipulator beneath. You're 25, Em. Time to grow up. Move out, get your own place. This is family property now. The words hung heavy with threat. I turned away, heart pounding, mind racing with plans. That night, alone in my room, the house settled around me. Creaks and sighs like Dad's ghost watching. Obsession took root. I'd uncover his secrets, use them against him. But fear whispered, what if it consumes me? Over the next weeks, tension built like a gathering storm. Victor's updates escalated. He painted over Dad's mural in the hallway, a faded landscape we'd done together. Each brushstroke erased a memory, fueling my resentment. I'd catch him measuring rooms, muttering about appraisals. Dialogue sharpened the edges. Pass the salt, Em, he'd say at dinner, then add, heard the market's hot. We could flip this dump for a fortune. It's not a dump, I'd retort, voice tight. Mom would intervene. Victor, please. But her pleas were weak, revealing her own moral grayness, love for him clashing with loyalty to me. Inner conflict raged. I loved her, but her complicity hurt. Guilt gnawed. Was I resenting her too much? Subtle hints of vengeance emerged. I started digging quietly, strategically. At the library, I pored over property laws, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, pages whispering possibilities. Denial faded. Resolve hardened. One evening, rifling through Victor's desk while he was out, I found papers, emails to a realtor, forged signatures mimicking Dad's. Heartbreak turned to cold fury. He wasn't just setting rules, he was stealing. The slow burn intensified. I'd lie awake, hearing him and Mom argue in hushed tones downstairs, her doubts, his manipulations. "She's just a kid, Vic. Let it go. She's in the way," he'd growl. Fear mingled with obsession. What if he succeeded? Moral conflict arose. Revenge meant stooping to his level. But justice called. Then the pivot. A late-night discovery. In the attic, amid Dad's dusty boxes, I found old letters. Victor's past, hidden. Bankruptcies, a restraining order from an ex, motives clarified. He needed this house for collateral, to rebuild his life on our ruins. The seed of revenge sprouted. The plan coalesced in fragments, born of quiet calculation amid the chaos. I couldn't confront him directly. He'd overpower me with bluster or lawyers. No, revenge demanded subtlety. A slow unraveling that mirrored his betrayal. I'd use his secrets against him, but with a twist. Make him doubt his sanity, question his grip on his house. Inner thoughts battled. Was this justified? Or obsession gone mad? Guilt flickered. Mom would suffer, but resolve won. She'd see the truth eventually. I started small, building suspense like a thriller's mounting score. First, the keys. Victor kept spares in his truck glove box. I borrowed one, duplicated it at the hardware store, the clerk's indifferent chatter masking my pounding heart. Back home, under cover of night, the house dark and still, I slipped inside. The air was thick with his snores from upstairs. I moved like a shadow, rearranging subtle things. His tools in the garage swapped drawers. Dad's old photos, repositioned to stare accusingly. Sensory details heightened the tension. The cool metal of wrenches, the faint oil scent, moonlight filtering through grimy windows. Morning brought his confusion. "Who the hell moved my socket set?" he bellowed at breakfast, face reddening. Shrug. "Maybe you forgot." He eyed me suspiciously, but I feigned innocence, buttering toast with steady hands. "Not me. Busy with work." Dialogue revealed cracks. "Things are shifting around here," he muttered. "Like the place is haunted." Haunted. The word sparked an idea. Dad's ghost, poetic justice. Amped it up. Nights became my domain. I'd creak floorboards deliberately, the wood protesting under my weight. Whisper faint recordings of Dad's voice. Old voicemails played low through hidden speakers I'd rigged with cheap electronics from online. The house's age helped. Drafts whistled, pipes groaned. Victor's paranoia grew. "Did you hear that?" he'd ask Mom, voice edged with unease. "Just the wind," she'd say, but doubt crept into her eyes. My emotions layered. Satisfaction at his unraveling, but heartbreak watching Mom's worry. Resentment toward her softened. She was trapped too. Inner conflict peaked. Was I hurting her to hurt him? Fear of discovery loomed, but obsession pushed on. Then escalation. I planted evidence. Those old letters, photocopied and slipped into his work bag. At dinner his phone buzzed. He checked it, face paling. "What the problem?" asked sweetly. "Nothing," he snapped, but suppressed rage simmered. Later I overheard him on the phone. "Yeah, the ex is stirring trouble. Need that loan fast, house as collateral." Moral grayness deepened. Forging ahead meant manipulating truths, but his lies justified it. Tension rose. Quiet moments of planning in my room, sketching timelines on scrap paper, the pencil scratching like accusations. The climax built over days. Victor's rules intensified. He banned me from the attic, claiming safety issues. I ignored it, planting more ghosts. A framed photo of Dad appearing on his nightstand. He confronted me. "You doing this, Em?" trying to spook me out. Me. I laughed, but it was forced, heart racing. You're paranoid, Victor. Maybe guilty conscience. His eyes narrowed, revealing his own complexity. Not just a bully, but a desperate man fleeing failures. This house is mine now. Your dad was weak, I'm not. The words ignited fury, but I held back, the slow burn nearing ignition. That night, the storm hit, literal and metaphorical. Rain lashed the windows, thunder rumbling like Dad's disapproval. Victor drank heavily, pacing the living room, muttering. I waited upstairs, resolve cold as the downpour. When he passed out on the couch, beer bottle tipping, I descended. Sensory overload. The carpet muffling my steps, lightning flashing shadows, the acrid smell of alcohol. I placed the final piece. A forged document, mimicking his handwriting, confessing to the realtor fraud. Slipped into Mom's purse. But as I retreated, he stirred. Panic surged. He lunged, grabbing my wrist, breath hot and sour. I knew it was you. Struggle ensued, visceral, cinematic. His grip bruising, my knee connecting with his groin. He doubled over, groaning. You'll regret this. No, I hissed, voice laced with years of resentment. You will. Mom appeared, robe clutched, face ashen. What's happening? The revelation spilled. His plans, the forgeries, his past. Dialogue peaked in tension. He's lying to you, Mom. Using us. Victor denied, manipulated. She's crazy, babe. Jealous. But the papers, irrefutable. Mom's heartbreak mirrored mine. Her slap across his face echoing like thunder. He fled into the rain, truck roaring away. But the twist. Days later, police at the door. Victor had contested the will, but my evidence backfired. He claimed I'd forged it all. Investigation revealed his real crimes. Embezzlement from his job, using the house in schemes. Poetic justice. He was arrested, but not before wrecking his truck in a drunken escape, hospitalized. Mom, shattered, moved out with me. To an apartment starting over. The house stood empty, a shell of memories. Yet unexpected consequences. Guilt consumed me. Had my revenge destroyed us all? In the quiet I heard Dad's voice, not a ghost but memory. Forgive them. But never forget. The house was mine, but victory tasted like ash. Revenge's price. A family fractured, a soul shadowed. Was it worth it? The question lingered, unresolved, in the empty rooms.